Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Buying film cameras can sometimes be a bit of a daunting process. Since you're buying something secondhand, sometimes you're not sure whether it's going to work in the first place, let alone having something like a warranty. So here's some things that I've learned over the years, somewhat of a guide, somewhat of some tips on how I would buy a film camera. So the safest way without a doubt is to purchase from a film camera shop. Since their whole kind of niche business revolves around this topic, they're normally pretty good at what they do. Good shops usually include some sort of warranty or guarantee with their cameras, and before they've sold them, they usually check them over to make sure that it's fully working, and some shops even might have performed a CLA on the camera before they sell it to you. So this way, when you buy a camera, you kind of have this confidence that you can go back to the shop and tell them, hey, it's not working how it's described, or that it should just work in the first place, and that it will be prepared to be working for a longer period of time. But this does come at a cost. Buying from a film camera shop is definitely the most expensive way that you can buy a camera, because they normally have to pay rent for the space, the staff. This comes at a premium price. So if you're looking for that security and the no hassle, this is definitely the way to go about it, but do be prepared to be paying a bit more than something like eBay. So I don't know all of the good film camera shops across the world, but here are some of the good physical stores which I visit in London. So first up is Aperture, and this is something which I included in a video recently. They actually have 2 locations now. So on Riding House Street, it is a Leica only kind of situation. So if that's what you're interested in, go and check that out. I think they also take their repairs there now. And then on Rathbone Place, they have a more assorted kind of collection of various curated cameras. I think they also sell film and develop film here, so it's kind of like a nice little hub, just if you haven't been there, a cool place to explore. They actually fixed up my Mamiya 7 for me multiple times, so yeah, they're pretty good at what they do. And next up is Mr. CAD. Now, this one is a bit more of like a treasure trove. It's a bit more miscellaneous. There's a lot of stuff here. I've never bought an actual camera from them, only some smaller accessories, but they seem to be nice people. They got a lot of different stuff. It's the kind of a situation where you have to go there in person and check it out, because their website's pretty rubbish. But yeah, Mr. CAD. And then there's plenty more options that are kind of web shops as opposed to physical stores, or places that do have physical stores but not near me. So if you're in the UK, there is Ford's, West Yorkshire Cameras, Real Camera, Harrison Cameras, and Peter Warner's. They're all pretty great. They all have a very wide selection of cameras. They're not like specific to one thing. Browse them, have a look. Maybe they have the item that you're looking for. And as some other notable options for more international people, there is KEH in America, and Cat Labs, which I think is maybe in Japan, but it might be America, and also Camera Store, which I think is in Finland. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to search for a film camera store in the country that you're from. There's not that many of them that it shouldn't be too hard to find. So next up, we'll talk about eBay. I think it's pretty easy to be scared of purchasing something from eBay. You definitely hear a lot more kind of horror stories of scamming and cameras just not working. But I think if you know how to do it properly, there's not too much to be worried about, and you normally can get a bit more of a bargain. So I guess one of the first down points of eBay is you're never going to get a guarantee or anything like that. But there are some things which you should be looking for in the description of listings, which kind of should give you hope that the camera is at least working when you get it. So the first thing, which is vital to me, is that it says tested or fully working. If the listing says this and then you receive the camera and it's not working, you can actually just file a complaint and return the item. I'm pretty sure eBay always sides with the buyer, so you're protected if this is the case. I'd also be looking for anything to do with the lens in the description, whether there's any hazing or fungus, also whether the shutter speeds are accurate, and yeah, maybe any noting of cosmetic damage, depending on how fussy you are about your camera's appearance. Saved searches are also one of the great things about eBay. It's really easy to set up a little email reminder of a specific search so that you get notified whenever a camera is listed. So if you're looking to buy something in particular condition or a particular color or with a particular lens, or maybe it's just a rarer item, you can be notified whenever this is going to happen. You can also set this to a specific region or to a buy it now or auction style where they're trying to really hunt down for the perfect price. And one kind of potential warning about eBay is there's always really good prices and looking cameras and lots of stock from Japan, and depending on where you live, you have to be wary of any potential import fees you will get. So this could be up to 40% of import taxes or just fees, depending on where you live. So even if that price looks like £100 or £200 cheaper than somewhere else, you could actually end up paying more in the long run. And then also additionally, if you have to return the camera, you're going to have to pay for it to be shipped back to Japan, and that comes out of your own pocket and can sting. But of course, this is dependent on where you live, so it's worth checking it out with your respective, I don't know, is it government? I don't know. Whoever handles that. And the last place I would recommend to buy cameras is Facebook Marketplace. So there's some really active groups for selling film cameras on Facebook. The two most notable ones for me are Film Photo Gear and Film Photo Gear and Euro Film Cameras and Film Gear Buy, Sell and Wanted. It's a catchy name. And here you're usually buying directly from a photographer, so you have maybe a slightly more chance of it being working, because sometimes on eBay it's someone who's just come into contact with the camera and they have no idea about it. You're normally buying from someone who kind of knows their way around the thing they're selling. However, you do have even less security when you're buying something, even more so than eBay. It's a lot easier to get scammed here, and unless you know the right precautions to take, it's worth being wary of. Personally, I would only ever pay for something through PayPal Goods and Services. This way, you'd still have something to kind of protect you if you were to be scammed or whether the camera wasn't working. Be careful you fill out everything properly, and PayPal will side with you if you want to return it or if they never ship it. Never pay for something through bank transfer or gifted payment. Even if you have to pay 4% extra, it's worth not taking the risk. I guess the only other downside is that it's so cluttered on Facebook. It's a lot harder to navigate through what's actually for sale, but the search bar makes it a bit easier if you know what you're actually looking for. And just as a miscellaneous pointer, which I wasn't sure how to fit into the structure of this video, if you're looking to find out the price of what a camera is actually selling for, don't go for what someone's got it listed on Facebook or the current price on eBay. Always make sure you're looking at sales which have actually been paid for. It's very easy for someone to list something as overpriced and make it appear as if the whole market is going for that cost, when really you need to see how much people are actually paying. So yeah, I hope that was somewhat helpful and will lead you to catching your grail. Who knows? Maybe you knew all of this, maybe you didn't. Either way, you asked for it. Or someone did, at least. And finally, I want to say thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you're looking to build a website or purchase a domain, maybe building a shop, a blog, or portfolio, you can do all of this with Squarespace. It's incredibly easy to get everything set up and get really professional looking results, and you definitely don't need any prior experience building websites. And what's best is, you can get 10% off using the code negative feedback. So definitely check that out. There should be another In Conversation With episode next week with the cool photographer. So what's not to love? Bye.